Hey everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and today we're going to do a sort of mid-year check-in with my 9th grader. We are in the middle of our first year of high school, 9th grade, and it's going well. I'm happy for the most part. So this is my third run through high school. So let's talk about how things are going. So what's working? What is going well? We are really enjoying, and I hesitate to say we are enjoying, but Denison math is going well. I won't say she's loving math. I won't say math is now her favorite because that's not true. But it is a vast improvement over where we were last year when we were doing teaching textbooks. So she is doing Denison Algebra 1 this year, and while we are still moving slower than I'd like through the program, I feel overall like it's making more sense to her. So I don't mind that we're going slower because I feel like it's actually working. What I like about this program is that he really infuses this idea of growth mindset, of positive thinking throughout the program, which I think is an important piece, especially for someone like my daughter who just doesn't like math, doesn't feel like she's good at math, maybe feels a bit frustrated with the way math is going most of the time. So that alone I think has done a lot for her. But also I think just the way he explains things makes sense in her mind. I feel like it works. It's a good program, and I think we're going to stick with that through the rest of high school, which is great because I hate math. I'm not good at it, and so I feel like I wanted to find a program that does the bulk of the teaching for me so that I'm just there as sort of a motivational guide rather than teaching it, So Denison math is going really well. We're loving that. We're still trucking through our Build Your Libraries level 8 and 9 combination. For the most part, what we've done with that is essentially we're doing level 8 science and history, and we're doing level 9 literature. So it's a mix of what she wanted more than trying to combine them entirely. I don't think we could have combined them entirely and did it in a year. That wouldn't work. I don't even know if we're going to finish what we're doing in a year, but for now it's going well. So essentially, we're doing level 8, the history of science, and we're doing the science in history portion of that. So we're focusing on reading through the Joy Hakim Story of Science books. We are maybe a quarter of the way into the second book in the series, so there are 3 books total. So hopefully, I don't know that we're going to finish. Hopefully we get at least most of the way through. We'll see where that ends up, but she's enjoying that, I think, and she's getting something out of it, so that's important. We're doing the history because I wanted to do just a crash course kind of a year, so we are working through that. We've just about wrapped up the Renaissance. We have a little bit more to go, I think, but overall that's going well too. We're keeping pace. So that's going well. That's basically the bulk of what we're doing for that part. And then for the level 9 stuff, we're doing the literature. Because those are the books that appealed to her the most. So we're wrapping up Lord of the Rings. In a week or so we should be done, so that's been really good. We're going slower with that as well because Lord of the Rings is a lot, and it was hard to keep pace the way I wanted to because we kept getting sick. But we are making our way through. Honestly, that's going to be the theme of our year, is we kept getting sick, which kept delaying things and slowing us down, but I feel like we're still going to make good progress. So that's going well. The other thing I wanted to give a shout out to that I think is going well is this is the year that I started incorporating graded out-school classes. I wanted to give her some online classes, some experience with other teachers besides me, and we did a test run when she was in 8th grade with a very kind of, not an academic class, but just like so she could take an outschool class and like figure out how that works, the format of it. And she did well with that. And so then she did another class at the end of 8th grade where we did an ASL class, which was a little bit more structured and a little bit more academic. And she did well with that. And so this year, she did another ASL class, because that's going to be her foreign language throughout high school is ASL. We're going to kind of like pop in and out of that. So she did an ASL class. It was like a 16-week, one semester class at the beginning of the year, and that went really well. She made an A. She did great. And then this semester, she just wrapped up an art class. She did a figure drawing class, and that went really well. I feel like she got a lot of really good feedback. I think she learned a lot, and her art skills will improve. I will say that that is like the track she wants to be on. She wants to go into art and do more with that. So I'm going to be adding in more art things over the next few years. But like those 2 classes went really well. I think the teachers both gave her really good feedback, and she got a lot out of both of them. So that is something we're going to continue. I might even add more classes. I haven't decided quite yet how we're going to go about that. But for now, I just wanted, for 9th grade, we were going to do 2 classes. And so she's done both of those already. And they both went really well. What we ditched, we've really only ditched one thing. I planned on using this book, what is it called? How to Write a 5-Paragraph Essay. It's a very like walk you through baby steps, all the different, and it goes very slowly, and it was driving her crazy, and she hated it. And she kept saying, can't I just write the essay? Can I just do it? So we ditched that because I feel like even though it gave us all the like puzzle pieces, it was so frustrating for her that the puzzle wasn't ever going to come together. So we've let that go. And so that's the only thing we've like really just dropped completely. What needs adjusting is grammar. I feel like we need to add in some grammar this year. We did grammar a little bit last year, more so at the beginning of the year than the second half. And I feel like that is the piece that is missing from her writing. So that is something we're going to definitely focus on going through the rest of this school year and maybe even into the beginning of next school year until I feel like she's got those pieces down and improved that part of her writing. So that's definitely something we're going to be changing up going forward after this break we're on right now. We're like taking our spring break this week. So after that, we'll be working on grammar more in depth. Let's just talk about some of our favorite things that we've done so far. I'm going to say our favorite read aloud by far this year, thus far, has been listening to the Lord of the Rings audiobooks by Andy Serkis. Has just been so much fun listening to those with her, talking about them with her, something that I did with her as we're reading those because I thought it would be a fun way for her to like narrate back without feeling like she's giving narration because Lord of the Rings is 3 books, but each book is divided into 2 books. So it's like books 1 through 6, essentially. So every time we finished a book, I'd have her write a poem or a song because, Lord of the Rings is full of songs and poetry. Like, Tolkien loved that. Everyone's always singing about like everything. And Andy Serkis actually sings all the songs and they all sound great. So I had her write a poem to kind of wrap up her summary of each book. And that has just been such a fun thing. I'm so glad that I did that. I was hesitant at first because I didn't want her to hate it. And I will say she doesn't love it, but she's had some really cute poems come out of this. So will she be a poet? Probably not. But like it's been fun for me to read her poems. Not going to share them. She would hate me for that. So you don't get to hear any. But it's been a really fun little thing that we added in to Lord of the Rings. We're currently reading some things that I wanted to just give a shout out to. We're reading The Mona Lisa Vanishes by Nicholas Day. And I'm going to just recommend, we haven't finished it yet, but this has been great. this tied in so well. This was a last minute addition because I was going to read it anyway for middle grade March, and then I thought, you know, why don't I do it as a read aloud with Regina? That'll be fun. So glad I decided to do that because it just happened to coincide so well with our history, because like I said, we're in the middle of the Renaissance right now. We're wrapping up the Renaissance. So we're learning about the Renaissance anyway. So why not learn a little bit more about Da Vinci and the Mona Lisa and this incident in the early 1900s when the painting was stolen. So it's a really fun read. There's a lot going on, but it feels really easy to digest. And it's just written in a really interesting way. So highly recommend checking this out and adding it into your children's studies if you are also in the middle of the Renaissance or coming up to the Renaissance. Another book I want to shout out that we've been enjoying is this one. It's called True or False, a CIA Analyst's Guide to Spotting Fake News. And it's by Cindy L. Otis. This has been really, really great. I'm so glad I picked this up to read with her and threw it into our morning basket, because we still do our morning basket time, although this year it's really more like we just read one extra thing each day throughout the week as we go. And this is one of the books we've been reading, and we've taken a little break from it because I wanted to get through this faster, so this is like our morning basket read every day now until we finish it. And then we'll get back into other things. But this has been fantastic. The way she explains how misinformation and fake news has always been there, has always been a thing, and it gives you like the history of that. Yeah, so this has a section on like Jack the Ripper and talking about like in ancient Egypt and Rome, some of the fake news, this, like going into the French Revolution and how the fake news kind of drove that. And just like there's so much in here historically, so there's lots of little like rabbit trails one could follow if you wanted to. But later on in the book it's going to get into like what happened when the internet came into being and how that's affected fake news, and like giving tips and ideas and ways that you can be more aware. And like there's just a lot of information in here, and I think everybody should read this. I think this should be required reading for not just for kids, for everybody, because I feel like we can all learn so much from it. So I highly recommend it. We're really enjoying it. So that'll be it for this video. I feel like we're, besides the fact that we did get a little bit behind just with so much illness in the beginning of the year, I feel like we're still making really good progress. Things are going really well. I'm pleased with where we're at. I wish we could have been like a little bit further into things. I had pictured us a little further ahead than we are, but we're getting through it. We might have to go in and school through the summer a little bit just to make sure we hit all the marks that I feel like we need to complete the coursework. But I'm also not a big stickler for like finishing everything, as long as I feel like we've made good progress and we got through the bulk of the material that we needed to. So that's where we're at. I'm feeling good about 9th grade so far. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know how your school year is going. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.